Hi, my name is Chris Gremaud, and my YouTube response assignment, I chose to read an article called The Network Classroom. In this print screen, you can see that this article was published back in February 2004. Although this article is clearly dated, I believe the concepts discussed in this article are still very relevant in today's classroom. Now, when we speak about what a classroom network is, we are not talking about simply allowing students to use the internet. I believe a classroom network is a software that helps enhance communication between teachers and students. It displays what students are doing, thinking, and understanding, and it enables teachers to enhance the natural communication flow of the classroom. This technology should also fit within the current classroom practice so that it makes it easier, not harder, for teachers to engage in best practices. As you can see, some of these best practices are listed below clearly focus on students' prior knowledge and motivation to try and improve overall student learning. In the article, it talked about the fact that classroom networks help facilitate effective learning environments. Classroom networks facilitate learner-centered environments because they require every student to think actively during class, and they encourage teachers to address specific needs and ideas. They facilitate knowledge-centered environments because they reveal important contrasts and patterns in mathematical and scientific ideas. They facilitate assessment-centered environments because they provide each student with frequent, helpful feedback while giving the teacher rapid insight into the current level of understanding in the classroom. And they facilitate community-centered environments because they connect the learning of each individual to the learning of the group. Now, from a practical standpoint, if you've ever had experience using the program Kahoot, I believe this program really is a good example of a networked classroom software. What we see here is that students can log into the Kahoot program, and this then allows them to respond to the questions that the teacher has set up in a Kahoot quiz. You can see a print screen here of a Kahoot sheet, and you can see that there are 4 responses that a student could make. What we generally see with Kahoot is that students will quickly respond to what they believe is the correct answer, and then the program provides immediate graphic feedback to the teacher and the students as to what the correct answer was, but also to how many students responded with the correct answer and with the other answers. I believe that this is a clear example of a learner-centered environment because it requires students to participate and actively think if they want to do well in the Kahoot quiz. I believe it also is an example of assessment-centered environment because it provides immediate feedback to the teacher as to whether students have got it. It also, I believe, is a good example of a community-centered environment because Kahoot is an activity where all students feel involved and part of the action. In fact, my experience is that generally students become very competitive with each other, and they are certainly engaged in the activity. The one shortcoming I believe Kahoot has is in this area of knowledge-centered environment, where I don't believe it does a good job of showing the visual patterns or contrasts that are present in most math concepts. To address this, I believe we could use another form of technology called Desmos. Now, this isn't as interactive per se with the student and the teacher, but it does provide the students a visual example of the contrasts and patterns in math. And the wonderful thing is this is a free online software that's more powerful than any graphing calculator that you've ever used. And as you can see from this example here, provides an example, a visual example of what the mathematical concepts really look like when they are graphed. In summary, I believe that technology should be used to supplement traditional math instruction. Clearly, we can use technology like scientific calculators or YouTube's instructional math videos or even programs like Desmos or Kahoot to supplement and to enhance our current math curriculum. But I believe it is still important and essential that teachers provide individualized opportunities for students to learn the math concepts and to collaborate with one another. And if technology allows students to collaborate together, then it is a useful tool to employ. Thank you for listening.